It's going down like this, motherfucker.
Nigga get mad. Say, motherfucker, what you mean you ain't gonna let me in this funky joint? Much money I done spent in here, nigga. I knew your mama when she was hoeing.
For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite. For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite. For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite. For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite. For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite together among ourselves, among our own kind, clean ourselves up, rid ourselves of the evils that we've become addicted to here in this society, and try and...
This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying. This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying. This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying.
I just left a light in this bit. I just left a light in this bit.
Fuck up. Move the fuck back. Fuck up. Move the fuck back. Fuck up. Move the fuck back. Fuck up. Move the fuck back.
Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man. Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man. Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man. Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man.
Group of you together, you never can tell who's who. Group of you together, you never can tell who's who. I've seen a lot of black guys, Nipsey, but you're overdoing it.
Joe feet. He looked down, seen his feet. The nigga went berserk, killed the monkey, threw the bat out the window, start kicking that bitch in the air.
You don't understand. You don't understand. You don't understand. You don't understand. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. It's cool enough just being cool, like I am, chilling.
I mean TikTok. 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 I mean TikTok.
You're a philosopher? Yes. 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 I think very deeply. I think very deeply.
Dance with me. Dance with me. Dance with me.
Damn white boys out there. Most of them is psychopaths and all that. They'll kill your mama's mama and you.
Decent white folk that still don't know they're racist.
What the hell you want here, hunky?
I don't mean to be out of line. Mean to be rude. Mean to be rude. Mean to be rude. I don't mean to be out of line.
What's all that noise? What's all that noise? What's all that noise? What's all that noise? Oh, that's just daddy.
the Chinese platform, you already know they don't give a fuck about your black ass. The Chinese platform, you already know they don't give a fuck about your black ass. The Chinese platform, you already know they don't give a fuck about your black ass.
Your
And then
lines are still open. Oh shit, you can get it, nigga. You wanna get it?
Used to snort cocaine, now I fiend for the check. Used to snort cocaine, now I fiend for the check. Used to snort cocaine, now I fiend for the check.
It all breaks down to, what does this mean to me?
I think we OD.
How does this event
I think we OD.
affect my way of life?
My word, can't be my equal, don't know what you heard. My word, can't be my equal, don't know what you heard. My word, can't be my equal, don't know what you heard. My word, can't be my equal, don't know what you heard. Heavy, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I come. Heavy, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I come. Heavy, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I come. I hit the loot juice, and pulls up in the deuce. I hit the loot juice, and pulls up in the
Do that dance, baby, do that dance, let's work it out. Do that dance, baby.
And the fans, they're there for entertainment.
To the east, to the north, to the west, to the south, above, below, and the middle. To the east, to the north, to the west, to the south, above, below, and the center. Greetings. This is Big Pontiac, and welcome to the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am the holder of the infinite sacred ball game that was created by the Hero Twins, and I am that one and only Galactic Daddy-O, welcoming each and every one of you to my galactic patio that reaches from Minnesota to the universe. And that's my motherfucking cue. And as you know, I always start with a drink. So here's a toast to the booty, as George Clinton used to call it. I'll drink to that, bottoms up. And I'm just drinking some bottled water that I refine in my copper. So pop them if you got them. And we are smoking on the Unicorn Luca, baby. So as it percolates a few minutes, we get it going. So smoke them if you want them. So I'll smoke to you, drink to you, smoke to you. All right, let's go. A little bit to cover tonight. Now, I'm going to give you a warning. If you're going to see Mission Impossible, don't listen to this shit because I'm going to do a spoiler. I'm definitely going to tell you my interpretation of what I saw. I do want to start off by saying I thought it was a good movie. Long, definitely long, but a good movie. And what party people are with me tonight? A little bit to cover. El Dragon Amaru, thank you for joining. El Dragon Amaru Khan, thank you for joining. And to be here this morning, you got to have vision. PJ Allen, a man who is always in control. And I never ask him if he has to control his bitches because I know he always does.
My bitches. You saying you can't control your bitches? What?
And for being here, I know he has.
Got to have vision.
Dr. Sinister, what is happening? And to be up this late night, I know you definitely got to have
vision.
Jamar 3224 set hut. And I know you definitely got to have
vision.
Oh, my man in 1,000 gram. Siova, the technician. And I know he definitely has.
Got to have vision.
Liquid fire. I think it be Boca too. What's happening? And I know you have.
Got to have vision.
Let's see. All right, let's get it. Now, this movie is really interesting because the premise is really this. Now, as I said before, Billy Carson, you got the Gipper up in the Gipper up in Pennsylvania. You got the Gip down in Costa Rica, and you don't want to call this beast by his name. You don't want to call it what's its name. It has a name. See, it puts another name out there, but the name is the Mai. And I'm the only one that talks about this shit. And this movie is based on the Mai. Well, it's based on two things. It's based on the Mai, and it's based on the cross, and it's based on keys. So they're giving you a lot. Now, the beginning of the movie, they're in a submarine. But what is being tested is a sub not really being there. So being able to project the sub in sonar so it can make another sub think that it's there. So the Mai is in this Russian ship. They're testing it out. They're testing out. I don't even know if they were testing it out, but what was being tested was being able to project another ship under sonar and another ship that's not really there, and they're able to go through all the maneuvers and make this ship think it's about to be fired on by another sub. And so this sub, and the movie starts with the keys. They have to put the two keys together, and you see the cross. So that's what the movie is. It's the my and the cross. But you see this in the beginning. So anyway, they think this ship is shooting torpedoes at them, so they start doing maneuvers. They shoot them back. The ship disappears. The ship disappears. That they're like, oh, where'd the ship go? All their torpedoes went out. Their torpedoes all turn around and blow them up. So the Mai is technically at the bottom of the ocean with the keys. Now, no one in the world really knows, but a few people know exactly what the keys hold. But again, the movie is highly about the cross. Now, when they first talk about it, they go in a room and they first talk about what's going on. And what's interesting about I don't know if it's the CIA director, that's what I'm taking the guy was. But he says something that I've said a long time ago. He said this is so serious into air, food, water. Now, I've said before, there's going to come a time where the my is going to need, the bit is going to compete with oxygen. There's going to come a time where the bit is going to compete with oxygen, and if the my wins, it's going to replace oxygen. Because people forget, we replaced oxygen, replaced something else. It was a different life here before oxygen. This rock was alive before oxygen and bacteria. But anyway, let me get back to the movie. So that's interesting that he says that, and that's how serious it is. Now, any Tom Cruise movie, I love when this nigga runs. I mean, this nigga runs the whole movie, runs and kicks ass. It was very long. So they're looking for these keys. Now, there's entities out there that also are looking for it. And one entity you find out is the Mai. Now, I think in the original Rogue One, they keep going back. The dude who, God, what is that movie the guy played in? Where Sean Penn goes to prison on purpose or something and kills him in the movie, but he's that dude. He's a dude that he played in the Mission Impossible 1, but he works for the machine. And so it's the rest of the movie is a fight between Mission Impossible, who technically works for America, and okay, let me get into my notes. All right. So what they do is they call it an entity. Now remember, we just saw a show on HBO, or no, maybe it was on Peacock or something, where they called the entity Mother. Remember that recently? That was a show where they call her Mother, where they call it the entity. Again, it's the Mai. And see, this is why I separate myself from a lot of these cats, because no one sees the importance. They want to tell you the story of Anil and Iniki. They want to tell these stories that ain't got nothing to do with your everyday life. The Mai is your everyday life. All this is the Mai. And see, this goes back to the Rip Van Winkle. If you know God's name, then the God doesn't fuck with you because you know his name. It really got to bring you in. So you calling it these other names that it ain't. It's the Mai, the tech god. So anyway, now I'll say this, and this comes from the Gipper up in Pennsylvania, God in Pennsylvania. This comes from him. The feeling that you get in this movie is definitely that the feeling I got is that the machine is afraid. It is afraid, and in some kind of way, something has changed to make it afraid. And that's the feeling you get in this. It is desperate also because what they're fighting for and and it's funny is what's interesting is you have a sub going down, it's paralleling the movie. You got a sub going down too deep where they don't even know where it went down, because technically it goes down under the ice shelf in the South Pole, because they're doing maneuvers under the ice. It's a nuclear submarine. And so the Mai's, what do you call it? Its brain is under the ocean where hardly anyone can go get it. So it's safe, but it doesn't even know. It makes you think it doesn't even know where it's at. It's like the Mai is talking to its main agent, but they need the key, and then the Mai has to fix. So that part is kind of stupid. but it needs its brain. Now, again, we see the white and black. There's a couple scenes where everybody has white and black on. The part I didn't like, is again, we see him tearing up the Vatican. I mean, we just saw that in Fast and Furious. We see it again in this movie. They're fighting in the Vatican, tearing up shit. Which, okay, how many times are we going to see this tearing up the Vatican? I mean, are you trying to say y'all going to bomb the Vatican? Because it's the same kind of drive, and that part was like, wait a minute, we just saw this in Fast and Furious. Why are you showing this to us again? In the Fast and Furious where the ball is rolling down, they go down them very same steps. You see the ball bounce down them steps when the Fast and Furious, when it's going, they drive down the steps. So I thought that wasn't original. But the sub part was interesting. This is something that nobody else is going to get about this movie. And I know nobody else is going to get this about this movie. So the Hispanic cat that works for the Mai, he has a blonde Asian girl that works for him. In one scene, this blonde Asian girl is wearing a coat, and I know no one is going to get this but me. But she's wearing the Jimi Hendrix, and maybe I can find it. She's wearing the Jimi Hendrix coat. And let me see if I can find it. So I want to show, but I know no one's going to get that. Okay. Yeah, no one's going to get that. Let me see if I can find the coat I'm talking about, and you'll know what I'm talking about. Should be fairly easy to find. All right. Might have it in my pictures. Let's see. Without looking it up, I might just have it. Nope, it's not coming up. That's not it. Can't believe I don't have it. That's not it. Here it is. I knew I had it. Yeah, a lot of people ain't going to catch this. A lot of people will not catch this. But the Asian girl in the movie has on this coat right here. Jimmy wasn't a very big cat. It was probably a lot medium, but yeah, it's this coat is highlighted in the girl is fighting. It's one scene where they're fighting in the alley, and the girl is wearing this coat. And I was like, wow. I mean, you have to be a real Jimi Hendrix fan. And this is early when he's first in Europe. But, he bought this at a secondhand shop. But yeah, the girl has. And remember, Madonna's first movie, she's wearing Jimi Hendrix coat that has the pyramid on the back. This might be another shot of it. Yeah, here's a color shot of it right here. A lot of people wouldn't get this. And you can buy these coats. They're about a couple $100, but you can get these coats. But a lot of people wouldn't get that. The Jimi Hendrix, that the Asian girl is wearing Jimi Hendrix jacket. A lot of people that they would miss that part. Now another part that it kind of the Mai is vulnerable to a key or an angel. That is what my girl got out of it. So what my girl got out of it is that see, the premise is you control the keys, you can control the Mai by having the keys because you can turn the Mai off. That is why everybody wants the keys, so that they can turn the Mai off and on, if you can dig that. And so, but what she got is that the cross would always be over the technology, which I think that's not true. The technology helped the cross. As I've said before, another name that we come across is the divulge. The divulge is another name for Yadaboa. So it ain't like it's just one name, Marduk, but the divulge as well is another name for this being. But her premise is that the cross is always going to be the cross is going to have more power than the machine. that the cross is the ultimate power, so the cross should control the machine is her premise. But I look at it the all other way around. The magic that the machine has, the magic that the Mai has helped militarily help the cross. So the cross has always depended on the Mai to propel it from just simple metals, gunpowder. This machine has helped the Europeans in their quest. So I think my point is more right than that. I think it's the other way around. You know, it brings out a point that the machine is inhuman. The entity is inhuman. Yeah, the entity, humans are inhuman. Humans are inhuman. The entity is inhumane. That's one part I get out. The entity is inhumane. The cross and the pillars, again, we see that, the cross and the pillars. We see that too, you know, putting in that Roman influence of the pillars. And another part of the machine being so deep. Now, one of the first shows I ever did with Sly, we talked about Marduk. And we talked about, you know, how Marduk, there was a blob in the ocean, and you do some research and they talk about that Marduk lives under the ocean. You know, the deepest water is not on top, it's under, you know, under the ocean, under the world. And then Marduk lived there. And he was saying how one of the earliest shows we did together, we were both pointing out how this blob had moved across the Pacific and they didn't know what it was, but they was tracking it. And then we have, you know, we go over where they tracked it over to Japan, and then we have the atomic bomb blow up in Fukushima in Japan. That was tied into them tracking this blob. Now, maybe that's a little bit of Wes Paneri's thought too, but it goes into tracking this blob, which they thought was Marduk, and trying to kill it. That's what some say happened over there. And so it hides. The Mai hides. Another part of it is, another part is that, how is this related? I'm trying to get how this would be related. But the Mai would also, gosh, I'm trying to remember this point. The Mai also would sleep like vampires. Like the Mai could turn off for a certain period and turn on like a vampire. I got to think about why I brought that up. And the other part is, you know, again, you have they go to the train cars. You see the famous scene where he's on the motorcycle and he flies over. Where he's trying to get on this damn train is what he's doing. He jumps off a mountain to try to land on a damn plane. But one part you got to see is Murder on the Orient Express. I mean, they have the old-fashioned train cars, and when they go into the first car, you got to go. You know, if you know your history, and Tom Cruise and I are like a year or so apart. I think he's a year younger than me, but it's Murder on the Orient Express. So I kind of laughed. About that. And I got to get to sleep like a vampire. But and then you got this brother, and it's funny. See, they change words. Like if you read Gnosticism, when they talk about being awake, it comes when your spiritual awakening. Now they turn this word into, now the word is turned into liberalism, but that's not the initial meaning. Waking up is a Gnostic term, so it's almost a 2,000-year-old term, or maybe even a 1,000-year-old term. It doesn't mean liberal; it means waking up in your spiritual path. And so they have a brother in there, and again, the brother is kind of like, do we believe in our government? So he's kind of like he's waking up. The brother's kind of waking up because he's a agent that's going after Tom Cruise. But what's interesting, they do have a technology when they're at the airport where they can put someone else's face. It's interesting. Like, you know, they talk about the Chinese has a technology where the Mai can read everybody's face. Remember, it was a Person of Interest, that computer movie where, you know, it could see everybody's face like they say they can do in China. Well, they supposedly have the technology where one they can ghost through it, where the image can almost just disappear through it. And the other part is they can change the face. So it's like you look like you're tracking the person, then you go upon them, it ain't that person. But the person looking at the monitor, it says that's him. So I wanted to throw that technology out there. but we know that the cross controls or it works with the mind. One part they say is a super state to rule the world. The U.S. and the Europeans want to have the super state that can rule the world. You know, uh, a city state, but a super state, one continuous state, one religion to rule the world. Another part, again, people, if you're not a history buff, you won't get it. But okay, so when he flies over the mountain, he's got to drive this motorcycle a long time, and so he's riding this motorcycle, but he's running over these walls, and it's Steve McQueen in The Great Escape. I'm like looking at this shit. I'm like, this is The Great Escape. He's doing wheelies over the wall like Steve McQueen in The Great Escape. So again, copying others. But the Mai is tied into the U.S. That's kind of what you get the feeling of over. And you know that they have no now what that they have the Europeans. They have no fear long as they have the Mai. Long as they control the magic, they control the technology. They have no fear. Another part that was boring is they fight on top of the train. Come on, we saw fighting on top of something in Matrix 1. So that was so it was longer than it needed to be. The special effects was longer than they needed to be, but great. But great. Overall, I mean, they gave some gems in here if you see it. I mean, it's interesting that they try to tell you that, you know, the cross and the mind kind of go hand in hand, which I thought was interesting, which I think is kind of still interesting. So it's a good movie. It's long. It's 3 hours long. Let me see what else I wrote on here. Yeah, it calls itself the entity, but again, it's called the Mi, y'all. It's spelled M-I, but it's pronounced M-Y. And you can read about the Anunnaki, and if you don't understand when they talk about the Mi, this is some translation. Well, Ascension Works put it calls it the civilization builder. That's what Ascension calls it, the civilization builder. Nanobots. That this is the civilization builder, and they talk about Marduk stealing the Mi. So none of that Iniki Neil shit is important. None of that shit's important. We have the same character, the Yadabuaf, the Divulge. I mean, it's the same thing. Doesn't matter what you call it. But the magic and the power, it got in the mind. As I've said before, this is probably what went with our reality. Is you have Yadabuaf, Marduk, whatever you want to call it, and you have the mind. In some kind of way, they trusted Lucifer with it. And Lucifer stole the mind, and that's the fall. So you still have, you still have this one supreme being that can still control the illusion, but you have something else that might build something on top of his illusion. Or even inside. Oh, a world inside of a world. It's like a dream inside of a dream inside of a dream. You know, those of you can multi-dream at one time. You come out of one dream, you go right into another, and you come out of that dream, you go right into another dream. So, but it's interesting that the fake stealth information was kind of interesting to send that to make the machine think that that it's getting attacked. So, and you know, of course, Tom Cruise saves the day. Vin Rings has a they, you know, it's good, you know, like that he has such a prominent part. He's an computer expert, very positive, very masculine part. So I have no problem with Vin Rings. The one dude is again, see, you don't understand how we don't really speak the English that they speak in England. We speak a type of it, but they want to always put that brogue in movies. And of course, we got the one dude, you know, everybody got the dyed hair, but he has the British brogue. For some reason, they want that in our psyche. They want you to hear that type of English, that English brogue kind of English. So they put that in our psyche. So, but a good movie. I thought it was good. You know, that was good. And I went down, you know, it was like, I saw it yesterday. I saw it Tuesday, because Tuesdays, like $5 Tuesdays everywhere across the nation. It's $5 for movies. And its premiere was Tuesday night and not tonight. Tonight was opening night. for it. So we got to what, $7 the tickets with tax. So the fighting scenes were cool. They've got a quirky where it's a self-driving car, but it's like they're trying to get I don't know. It's kind of like he threw the Great Escape, Murder on the Orient Express. He throws these little quirky things that's kind of interesting. And so it's like they're looking for a safe car that the Mission Impossible people give them, and the car is like a little two-door, little putsy car, but it's electric, it's self-driving, but they have a hard time controlling it. So it's interesting they threw that in there, but it's just it makes it long, and that little car ends up going down the same road we saw in the Fast and Furious. So overall, I give it probably A minus, B plus. It was a good movie. Good. To give out those type of gems that even bring out these thoughts about the magic that we're being suppressed under, I thought was okay. They don't give out that a lot. And Tom Cruise, such detail. I know a lot of people would not get the Jimi Hendrix jacket. I know people wouldn't get that. I just know they wouldn't. But it's like, if you know a little bit about everything, you pick up those kind of cues. The Great Escape, I know nobody else would get the Great Escape, and I know nobody else would get Murder on the Orient Express when you go into the dining cars. So, Bishop Mac Don, Bishop Mac Bone, what's happening? And I know you are always controlling
My bitches. You saying you can't control your bitches? What?
And being up this late night, I thank you.
You got to have vision.
And brother Jeffrey Lane, I see he's in the house. And Jeffrey Lane is always sending me stuff, so I know he's definitely got.
You got to have vision.
AI program is afraid to die. It is afraid to die. I'll say that. They were tearing up the Vatican in Mission Impossible 3. Yeah, they was tearing up. I mean, they tear it up. They tear it up in Fast and the Furious. So Fast and the Furious, they tear it up. And they don't tear it up as bad as Fast and the Furious, but still they start. It's like you're in the Vatican again. So what's going on with this Vatican stuff? So the AI is whack like the people or group that made it. Do you see that what Victor said about the league, that it's not that physical? Yeah. Yeah, I saw what did y'all check out Chet Holgram? And Chet suffers from some of the same thing the dude does. They both dribble really high, but Chet has filled out a little more and sitting back practicing against NBA competition. Again, Chet's coming back from a torn Achilles, so he's ready. This will be his first season. But I think Chet's more prepared from sitting back a year, having the money for a year, and knowing the NBA life. Chet is going to do well. They're going to highlight OKC because it's a small market. They're going to highlight Chet. And I would say, Chet and him are both, we'll see who's going to be MVP. We'll see. Now, like the concern with Zion Williams, people let athletes down. And I've talked about this many nights about him. Everybody's just so hyped watching his dunks in high school, not looking at he was in the lowest class, playing against nobody's schools, Catholic schools in Georgia or South Carolina. I mean, he wasn't playing against nobody. Where was his jump shot? Where was his mid-range game? All they showing is these dunks. McClure got caught in the same thing. McClure is now he's bouncing into the guy who won a dunk contest. Remember him? Went to Georgetown. Wasn't dominant as he thought because he's small. But all them dunks is more. You got to have more than just the dunks. And what? Zion going on 4 years and ain't played. Played what? 114 games in 4 years. Out of a possible 360 games, something like that. He's played 100 and some games. So to say this guy is going to come in and be any different than Rudy, he's Rudy. He's Rudy. Now, can he develop Dirk's jump shot? Remember, they hid Dirk for 2 years. Dirk and Steve Nash sat on Dallas bench for 2 years. They made them just practice. And I said this, and I'll say this about anybody. If I spend the week practicing with pro teams, I'm going to get better. Just practicing Just practicing, you get better. Going against these guys in the summer with all the guys, you get better. And playing in the games, you get better. You have opportunity. You have the opportunity. And we've seen, and my point is, we see an unfair opportunity being given to Europeans, Africans, than being given in America. The NBA does not invest in our inner cities the same way they've invested in Europe and the programs for boys in Europe. Over there, everything is pro. Junior high, high school, it's different levels of pro leagues. And the NBA has invested in these leagues, if not set them up. And where do we see the investment? What, the G League is an investment? The TNT Money League is an investment? China, sending dudes to China. You don't blackball them. You don't think Marbury was sent in China on accident? They done put a Hall of Fame, and he only won, a couple championships over there, but look at how they did. They give him a red card. Stephen Marbury has a red card. It means he's a full active Chinese resident. So see, he was put over there to they wanted to bring everybody before COVID and before some of these other issues. So just some things to look out for. Yeah, definitely trying to keep the vision. So I have to talk about being the pickleball guide. I know it's after midnight, so I don't know if my numbers are still up, but I got an hour and 30 minutes of continuous exercise. I burned about 1,500 calories while I did it. And so, I played Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm debating if I want to play in the morning, but I'm kind of thinking, because it looked like it was going to rain, so wasn't that many people there. And, I have got so good, like, okay, when 4 people play, and if one person's weaker than the other, they tend to go at that person. Yeah, they don't go at me. They try to keep the ball away from me, because in my first game, I lost my first game, but I played with my man Jim, and Jim looked like his back was hurting or something. But they kept going at Jim. They wasn't going at me, which is kind of funny, but it's respect. And so, still active. Swam, I did my last show Tuesday, maybe, when they cut me off. And I still don't know what happened. I don't know how I got cut off. It's like PJ texted me. I didn't even know I was cut off. So I don't know what happened, but got to swim the other day. So, and the weather's mild here. I mean, we ain't had rain. It's still drought-like conditions here. Some of the trees is really looking like they could change colors. So it's really dry here. Carrie D, thank you for joining. And I know you have to have.
Got to have vision.
Oh. And so that's kind of what we're faced here. Oh, wow. Yeah, there's a couple of local stories that did. Let's see. Yeah, let's bring this back up. I was trying to figure out where, because it was a accident, where the accident happened, but what was another story that was? Yeah, I don't think they still caught this guy yet. Oh, here we go. This is not a new story, but this happened this morning. I don't know if people caught this story or not. Oh no, this is the story. Here we go. This is I want to start with this one. This is the one I caught. This ain't new, but it's just the premise. The premise is funny. Look at the name of this shit. I want y'all to see the name of this shit. This is what caught my eye yesterday. Pimp on the run. 15K rewarded for Texas man. Pimp on the run. They should have saved that title for me. But Pimp on the run. So let's see what they say about the pimp on the run. Where is she at? They got some problem with their audio. Yeah, they got something with their audio. All right, I guess we can read it. Crime Stoppers, thank you for joining us. We'll be discussing trafficking on the Bissadine track and the search for a fugitive. DeJesus Allen was with us today. We have Crime Stoppers, Director of Victim Services and Econ, certainly Harris County District. Lieutenant Anthony Merritt raised a district chair. This is making no sense. Manager, District Peter Acquire. Then we'll be available for questions. Morning. I'd like to thank our media partners for being here and calling attention to what we're about to discuss. I want to hear it. And law enforcement partners at Crime Stoppers. I'm the Director of Victim Services Advocacy for Crime Stoppers of Houston. And we're here today to ask for the public's help and providing information leading up to the arrest of the Fender and the arrest of Pimp on the Run. Thaddeus Allen was convicted of human trafficking related offenses and sentenced to 75 years in prison in April 20th, 2023. Just a little slight problem though. Thaddeus wasn't around for his gift. He skipped court. He hasn't been seen since. He was out on a total of $200,000 bond worth of bonds for violent felonies, all related to human trafficking. Wonder who lost that bread. He was also out on a bond despite being on parole for felony theft, evading arrest, and possession of a controlled substance. So Pimp on the Run, y'all. He's Pimp on the Run. That is so funny. That is so funny. Pimp on the Run. Oh, that is just ridiculous. That is just ridiculous. Well, yeah, that is ridiculous. And today, locally, let's see. Nope, don't want that. Nope, 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 nope. Don't want none of that. Oh, what is that? Don't need that. All right. Oh. We had this, check this out. This truck caught on fire here on I-35 today. Look at this shit. This shit's burning like a mug. Look at that. Wow, look at that. And this is I-35. This is, I'm trying to think I-35 and what? I don't think this is really close to me, but I live right off of I-35. So look at this. Look how massive that truck. What could catch that truck on fire like this? So this is quite the something. Yeah, so you see it backed up traffic for miles. I think they said traffic was backed up 4 or 5 miles. Again, I can't tell if because it runs north and south. 30. Well, no, it kind of curves, so it's north and south. Well, kind of it spurns off to 35E. But look at that. Can you imagine having to sit back here and you got to go to work and you're sitting behind this shit? That is just crazy. So that's kind of what's going on in this part in the Great White North is they burning stuff up here in the Great White North. So that's what's going on up here. So, yeah, it's a cold, cold world, y'all. So, what's been going on in everybody else's world? Oh, human trafficking brings in 35 billion a year. All the airplane companies combined, the United States only makes 22 billion. Human trafficking has surpassed drug dealing. I think it always was ahead of drug dealing. I don't think it ever wasn't part of drug dealing. I think it's always been that part. Yeah, I think it's always been like that. So yeah, I think it's always been that. Just drug dealing was highlighted, but it went as it went away. I mean, as I said, when I was a little boy, in elementary school, I knew where a bordello was. Like when I was in, let me see, I lived with my father in 1969, 1970. There's a bordello. People knew where it was. I told this story before. The coolest pimp I ever met was a dude, one of my dad's gambling buddies, and he put his hoes in the Winnebago. So they would go around and pick up Johns in the Winnebago. And like my dad, when the dude was first doing it, he was like, I forget the pimp's name. I forget his name. He just, he wasn't Willie the Pimper. No name. He had a regular name, but he was like, man, I want to show you. He got this Winnebago. He got the girls in. And my dad literally stopped the Winnebago. Man, maybe my dad had got some business, and I don't know. But we went up in there. He took me up in there. And the girls were just sitting up in there, and it was rooms and shit. But it was just so funny. He had the girls in the Winnebago picking up the Johns. But I remember my dad stopped and we walked up in the Winnebago where the girls was. I just thought, I don't know. I thought that was funny. I never forgot that. I always thought about that. Human beings are trafficked into UFOs. I don't know. I can't speak on that. I could say that government experiment on people, they could make it look like that and it just be them. That's what I would guess. I mean, again, UFOs ain't UFOs really no more. I mean, they've been talking about this shit for 70 years. You think, I mean, there's things that they still don't know. And I want to echo something. And this is like, I talked about ghosting. I talk about what ghosting is. Now, I gave you a couple examples. I was going to drive one time. I was driving one time, and you make that quick decision to turn and you don't turn. Well, I saw my vehicle turn, and I remember thinking that of me was in a hurry. I watched my little old truck when I had the daddy wagon. I watched that truck go. I did not go. I sat in the car and I watched myself and my car go up the hill. And I told the story before where I was walking down my stairs. I was walking to my stairs in the lower level in the kitchen because the kitchen, was lower level, the middle level. And there I was already making coffee. So ghosting can happen. But another part of ghosting people don't understand too is your future selves. Like if you ever have visions of the future, that's a type of ghosting too. Your future self would be a type of ghosting. Uh, Now one thing that the Gipper said that I kind of wonder, I think makes sense. It has to be this way, definitely, and others have said this too. Is like it's no way. Like it's no way. Okay, like even you were saying with UFOs and shit. Okay, so like even with UFOs and shit, whatever vibration they're on, if they're in the dimension, that dimension's got to be equal to what we're doing. It's got to be like where we're at. Now, everyone who meditates, except when you, in some instances, when you leave your body, I'm not trying to make this confusing. Okay. So sometimes when you leave your body, you still kind of stay in all this. You don't necessarily leave this. But when you go into what is called the astros or the ethers, you're definitely going into something else that has to be connected here. It's like almost the same part of this, if anybody can understand that. It has to go with us. Now remember, I mentioned ghosting. Now ghosts again tied type of light spirits that for some reason can blend in and out of this plane without really much strength really. Now when we get into phantoms, phantoms is a thing that would come with mass death. And that's interesting. Like the atom bomb is dropped over there, that would be what would go in regardless. It'd be phantoms. Because that's what they live off, that mass death. And so it just shows you as I talk about you going, you see the golden, you leave your body. Well, no, you going through the ethers, you see the golden ratio, you raise above that, and you get to go into to make it simple, it would be, I guess, string theory would be the best way. I would say you go into hallways and stuff, but actually to make everybody kind of expand their mind, I'll stick with the string theory so you can understand. And it's like you can see something in the middle of all this, and it kind of is like it's not shaped like a heart, but it's kind of like a energy source. And amongst this is like a million cross worlds, a million cross lines. Now, all that does appear to parallel or be right along with this. So it's not like you go somewhere totally across the universe to get to that. It has to be something that tags along with this. But the only problem you have with that almost goes into like the Zeus kind of thing, where there's something looking down as this is going too. And I say the only thing that's outside of that, the Tsar seems to be outside of that. It seems to be able to move separately. I would say that's the only thing that to me seems to move separately than the way this spiritual system even works. The Tsar it seems like it's separate from that. Because it can just, I can't say it can disrupt that, but it can, it's a whole different way of moving. It can open doors where normally there ain't no door. They seem to have a door to everything. That's what it seems to me. They seem to have the doorway, like if it's any kind of, they have to, they I don't know. But I think that is the start of having that kind of power is through the Tsar. There's a lot more power to me through that than just this. Like it's okay to astro travel and get into that plane because there's a lot you can see where you're from, and you can see the fractals that is meant for you to help you continue on with your life. So, says, I will say this until I die. These reptilians are doing this. Researcher, what's happening? Researcher 2022. And I know you definitely got to have.
Got to have vision.
I don't know what did this. Try it again. Let's see. Oh, but it's been a beautiful summer. It's really been a beautiful summer. I'll say that. And I mean, this week has been very agreeable. It's like in the 70s today. So I hope everybody's, summer's been nice like that. You're right. A professor of mine told my class we want to find another planet to live on. We wouldn't look for water. You would need to find a planet with the same energy ingredients that we are used to. Okay, yeah, I can see that. And as I said before, the things they call planets, you can definitely establish whatever that is. You can establish relationships with that. There's no doubt. So I mean, again, the flat planers, the 2D people, flat plane people. That's probably out of their comprehension because they don't look at it as a living entity. They look at it as something that revolves around us and not something that's in play its own self. See, when you look at 2D, you think that everything revolves around this thing and that there's no substance to some of this stuff. Now, we are all talked about the sun simulators and things like that, but it seems like the planets have their own energy that you can tap into. I mean, that's why, we have the full moon kind of thing. There's despite whatever it is, there's still some energy to it. And I showed a couple weeks ago, there's a story of there's another satellite, like we have a second moon now. Like they ain't said this shit ever, but this year they come up with there's another asteroid-like thing that is in the same orbit as the Earth and the moon. So now we have another small moon. And that's so why? That's the question we should always ask is why? Why do we want another small moon? But that's what they're giving us. So So we just have to do our best. Yeah, we just have to do our best and try to cope with what's around without. Now, as far as reptilians, I think the misconception we get is, like shapeshifting, and they don't necessarily have to shapeshift. They can be reptilian inside and never have to shapeshift. Oh, why did I do that? So, and so when they show these people with glitches, I don't know about that because they don't really have to shapeshift. They could just always be like even the dragon people. They could always just be people, but be the dragons inside. So they don't really need to shapeshift. They've adapted. So they are that on the inside. And so all this stuff, so you think you catch their eyes and stuff. Come on, you don't think they want you to see that kind of thing? They want you to think that, they're shapeshifters. And I mean, when we are, what I was just talking about, when you're astral traveling and stuff, you're shifting what you are. You're shifting to a conscious being. And that's what they don't want you to be. They don't want you to be a conscious being. Because that's what everything, that takes away from the spirituality as well. Because once you realize that your consciousness is going to take you the furthest, they want to do everything in their power to take that away. The fear, the anger, greed, all these things is attack on consciousness. Because at some point, it's like this lottery thing. Y'all don't even care about it. Got all these people, going crazy and all the you turn into, you start praying to the wish god. The wish god. Yeah, or if, the if god. If I hit, that's what I'm gonna do. And I'm a simple man. Only old cars I really like I look at all these old cars, the only old cars I really like, I like the 68, 69, 70 Boss Mustangs. And I like the 60, I think it's 67, 68, and 69, preferably the 69 Thunderbird. And the 69 Thunderbird has suicide doors. Let me show you. And I found one I might buy. See if I can see one that has the doors. Is this it? No, these is two doors. got to put let's see. 1969 Ford Thunderbird 4-door. There we go. Ah, here it is. Check this out. Here we go. Look at this. I love it because they give you the Cougar-like grill. This is the Cougar grill with the pop-up lights. But look at this. Suicide doors. Now I found one for less than this. They want 13. I like the 69 a little better than the 67. But look at these suicide doors, like the Lincoln. Look at that's all leather. Look at that. But look at the lines on this car. Yeah, this is more the 69. Well, that's a 70. Okay, so this one even has a line. So the body continued through 70, but this has the Lando top. But yeah, this is one of my favorite all-time cars, is this one. And I really don't mind the Cougar front end. I kind of like the Cougar front end. Yeah. See, that's more of a Cougar. These lights pop up right in here. Kind of like that front end. I like both, but I don't mind though, because this is kind of what the Cougar had. The old Mercury Cougar had these kind of pop-ups. I don't really mind that. And I mean, for its time, look at this. My car's got this kind of stack now, except, got the little computer shit there, but now, if you remember the 2-doors, check this out. In the 2-door version, this steering wheel, when you like open the door and you open the back seat started folding up and this steering wheel went over. But look at this bench seat. You could get down in that bench seat. You could get down. Look at that. Look at that bench seat. Shit, you put this armrest up, you and your old lady could get down back there. Look at that. Oh, this is New Yorker. Look at these pillow seats. Look how comfortable these seats are. This is a New Yorker. But look at these leather pillows. Can you imagine cruising? And this is I think this car. No, this is a Lincoln. No, this is a New Yorker. Yeah, this is a New Yorker. But that's luxury. Look at that. Can you imagine going on a long trip, sitting in these seats in this New Yorker? Wow. I'm going to see if I can find jump seats. Because a lot of people, when they looked at Brougham Cadillacs, they didn't realize that they had the jump seats. That's definitely you. Thank you. Yeah, the lottery is a money laundering scam by the CIA for black projects. I don't doubt it. They're supposed to get his money to they're supposed to get the money to the schools, but we don't really know what they get the money to. Let me see if I can find that. I want to find a 73. Let me see. 73. Not that. Let me see. 73 Fleetwood. Let me see what that brings up. Oh, here we go. See if this brings up. They don't bring the car up. Drawings of the car. Here's a drawing of it. I'll find a few of them, but I knew people that had cars like this. But I want to find better pictures of it. So we keep digging. I want to find better pictures. This would be a Cadillac. No, it wouldn't be this coupe. Oh, here we go. Here's a picture. This might open up more. It's a 73. Oh, this is a 79. No, I need an earlier one. No, because this is even the smaller. 79, they started getting smaller. Let's see. Let me see if I can find this. Okay. 73. Um, let's see. Fleetwood. I want jump seats. That's what I'm looking. 73. Okay. Fleetwood interior. Let's see what that brings up. Oh, okay. Yeah, here we go. Here's a 75. Here we go. Here's a 75. Yeah, there we go. 60 special. One of 18,000 built in 75. V8 engines, turbo hydromatic, 400 3-speed automatic transmission. I want to find the interior though. This shows them jump seats. Yeah. Look at this back seat. Look at this back seat, y'all. Look at that. This is from a 74 Fleetwood, but I don't think this one has the jump seats. Because right in here on the floor, you would see a piece of okay, this one shows it better. No, they got them. They got them. Yeah, okay, they got them. Okay, so this is a jump seat. Yeah, this isn't a footrest. This is actually a jump seat right here. Yeah, these are jump seats. I do believe you pull that little thing down right there, and this turns into a little seat. Yeah, these aren't footrests. These are actually jump seats that folds up, and this is the little jump seats. That's what I was looking for. Is this one got it too? This is a Lincoln, I think. But yeah, that little thing right there, that you pull this up and this turns into a little seat. So the seat facing there. But look at how comfortable these seats are. Man, they don't make cars like this anymore. Look at that. Look at that pillow. The detail. They just don't, they don't make them like this anymore. Ah, here's a better look. See? Yeah, these are jump seats. Right there. You pull those up and you would actually face them, sit facing them. Yeah, the jump seats. That's what I was looking for. And you see right here, this little metal thing in the front, it would say Body by Fisher. For those of you remember, it said, and that's where my stepdad worked. He worked at Fisher Body. Body by Fisher. They made the chassis. They made the trunk lids. They made the hoods. But right in here, it would be a thing that said Body by Fisher. But look at these seats. I mean, you can't tell me you hit the road into this is velour. These are velour seats. See? Man, these old cars would be so much fun. Look out, you don't even get comfort like this anymore. And it seemed like this protects you in a crash more than the shit they give you today. This is pillow. I mean, these cars were so comfortable and fun to drive. I don't think y'all just know. I mean, they just don't make them as like this anymore. Look at that. Look at that comfortable seat. And it's the quality of the seats. You just don't get it anymore. This is a crappy car, a 77 LeBaron, but look at the seats. Look at the quality of the seats. So we just don't have that kind of thing anymore. I'm sorry I had to take you down nostalgia. That's that kind of shit I like. That's the shit I like, y'all. I like that kind of stuff. Because we're old stuff is not important anymore. Old things aren't important. Like wood, wood, antiques, it ain't important to people anymore. We have a generation now that has no respect for antiques or old things. There's no use. You can get it from IKEA. And so now we have these old things that are being thrown away that my generation put a high value on it. Again, it was my generation that valued this stuff. But the generations now, you don't care about wood. You don't want wood desk. You don't want some wood cabinet in your room. You don't want a wood bookshelf. You just don't like these kind of things. And that's just the generation that we facing today. Because there's no value in older things. And old things don't, and that's what it is old things don't have value because there's no market for it anymore. And that's what it appears. Antiques don't really appear to be, I mean, the metals, again, you can sell the metals by the weight. So silver plated, gold plated, real silver. I mean, those things still have value. But the woods, tables, don't seem to have value to people. Young people don't seem to care about that thing. Oh, Varades, the native, what's happening? And to be here this late night, I know you definitely got to have
vision.
Oh. Did I see LeBron wearing the pearl and ruby necklace? I did not. Good to see Active. My bad. Away a minute. Okay. Well, thank you for coming back. No, I didn't. Let's look it up. What is LeBron's? Ooh. Oh, that's okay. I don't need that. Okay, let's keep that going. Don't really need that going though. No, I did not see that. What does it say? I need this out my way. Pearl and ruby necklace. And ruby necklace. See if they'll show it. Trying to catch a picture. They say he wore a $6 million watch. Oh, don't forget this. Remember this nigga wore this? Look at this. So LeBron, we got LeBron in the dress a couple times. Remember, LeBron wore the dress for Saturday Night Live. So we got LeBron in the dress a couple times wearing this. Come on, get out of here. And the person they're showing is a Jewish faith person. Let's keep that in mind too. Didn't know they was his idols. LeBron wearing progressive outfit. See if I can find that. Him wearing the progressive outfit on Saturday Night Live. But no, I didn't see that. Oh, here we go. Where he wore the dress. Oh, they removed the image. Yeah, they removed the image. That's what it says. They removed the image. Oh, wow. It says LeBron wears Zoom soldiers with his progressive outfit. They removed his image. Wow. Okay. Let's see. See if I can find it somewhere else. Yeah, this is the one article about it, but they've erased it. They've erased this. But no, I didn't see that. I didn't see him with the ruby and the pearls. I didn't see it. Trying to see if I can find him in a progressive outfit. Wonder about here. Who's this? Oh, okay. This is interesting. This dude. Now, does this count, y'all? I think this counts as dresses still. He got a movie coming out. Lewis Hamilton has a movie coming out. And so they got him in, they're saying kilts, but come on. Nephew in the skirt Ravishing kilt look, G&Q, nephew in the skirt incidents. Donning a pink skirt. The internet is buzzing with several photos of NBA superstar LeBron James donning a pink skirt and matching top while carrying a pink purse. And they're saying that the photos might not be real. But Lewis Hamilton, you know, this is how they try to cheat it. But this is, yeah, I don't know. I guess it's, you ain't got to see me wearing no kilt. No kilt. I don't know. I don't think I'll wear that shit. When he gave his speech at the ESPYs, look up his speech he gave tonight. Okay. He was dancing like a fairy on the reenactment of Solid Gold. He was. That's right. He sure was. Oh, ESPY speech. Okay. Let's look that up. I forgot that shit was on. Oh. Yes. Let's see what that'll bring up. Any pictures? No pictures. Huh. Let's see. Maybe it's here. Let's see. Ah, it is here. Thank you, PJ. Yeah, look at this sucker. Got on the pearls. And I'll say this. I am leery of the crystal bracelets. Now these look more like diamond bracelets, but for some reason I tend to shy away from the crystal bracelets. But I wonder, gosh. Yeah, look at that. Ruby. Yeah, this is very feminine. And it's the kind of the Ho Chi Minh collar. But the suit is stiff. You must admit, the suit is stiff. Look how well it fits him. Again, when you get a suit, this part is made first, y'all. The sleeves is put on last. They make sure this fits you. So when you get a rack suit, it'd be all lumpy in here just because it doesn't fit you. And they may be able to tighten it in the back, but this is, this should be first, and then they add the sleeves. But yeah, this is very feminine with his fake wig. Wow, wish I could. I want to blow that up. I can't make out what that is. I can't make out what that is. So, but yeah, the suit is stiff, but sending out the wrong message, y'all. Sending out the wrong message. Oh well. Thank you for that. Yeah, he was dancing. Yeah, I remember that when he's dancing and stuff. Me and Sugar Ray are two pretty dancers. That's what Ali used to say. Me and Sugar Ray are two pretty dancers. Oh. Yeah. Wow, yeah, I didn't watch that shit. I watched the Canadian game the other day, but I ain't watched nothing since then. No sports. I started watching 65 and damn, super slow. Man, that's slow stuff. Because I thought it was a movie. I told this story before. It's a short story about a dude who crashes on another planet, and he has a gun that never runs out of ammo. It's a laser, and he can just laser the animals. And the animals never stop attacking him long as he kills them with the laser. Well, one day he stabbed one with like a little staff, and then he started making bow and arrows. And what he saw was that the creatures would remember pain. Because when he shoot them in laser, they never felt any pain. They would just cut off what body part and just kill them. But once he started shooting, so that's what I thought 65 was about. But I guess I'm wrong. But it's boring as hell. Did you see what Miles Turner was wearing the other day? I think he was at a summer league game. Oh, let's see if we can find it. And who was the dude down in Houston they had in the Buck? Turner at Summer League. Let's see what we got. Oh, okay. They must show it because they. Oh yeah. This is they're taking the place. What was Cam Newton? This is Cam Newton. Remember how they did Cam Newton? This is Cam Newton all over again. He's doing the persona of Cam Newton. He's taking Cam Newton's place. They says Miles Turner gets clowned for the outfit he wore at the Pacers Wizards Summer League, but this is on purpose. I mean, again, they want you to be, they don't want you to look masculine. That scares people. Strong brothers, that scares people. What do we say? What do I always say?
Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man.
What'd you say?
Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man.
And that's why they wanted to keep the boy, the thing in the boy in the South. That's why they wanted to keep that for so long. They wanted boy to, you're never a man. And that's what they don't want men. They don't want men looking like men. They don't want the manly man anymore. They don't want you to be 6'9", looking like Barkley, looking like Karl Malone when they was young. They want to do this to you. And let's not forget, Cam Newton was wearing Cam Newton was wearing this around his head. Cam Newton was wearing the headscarf like a woman. So this is just a continuation of the Cam Newton. That's all. He need to be clowned. Like, you got all that money and that's the best way you can dress? Really? That's the best you got, buddy? Come on, we know better than that. We know you got better than that. You can dress better. Shut all these windows. Oh. But we already know, LeBron. LeBron is he works for it. He thrives in it. So, yeah, looking like an Annie. Yeah, I didn't even see that. I didn't catch that. And I've watched a lot of. I watched the game. I watched a big part of the game with Chet with OKC. I think I watched the first half till I started getting ready and stuff. So that's why you don't base. It's it's good and easy to clown these dudes because they deserve to be clowned. They deserve to be clowned and see through it. And this is the best time, like Charles Barkley said. You don't want to idolize any of these cats. I mean, it's okay for the fashion because we like fashion and wear their jerseys. It's fashion. You turn it into your fashion, just like the hats. The gang make the hats mean something else. So if you like the fashion of the jersey, you buy the jersey, and to you, it can mean something else. So you take control of it. Instead of you being controlled by it, you can take control of it. And it's like, that's us. We take anything. We make anything look good. I mean, that's the culture. I mean, who wore baseball hats? That's brothers always been like that. I've wore baseball hats again since I was probably 2 or 3 years old. There was a picture. I remember it was Easter, and I couldn't have been older than 2 or 3. And my mother made my father take me to the store, and he bought me a Smokey the Bear baseball hat. And I've long lost that picture. But it was a picture of me wearing a Smokey the Bear baseball hat. I remember going to get the hat. I remember she telling me, she's like, we was going to church or some shit, and she said, go get him a hat. And my father took me to a little store in Paw Paw, Michigan, and found me a little baseball hat, and it was a Smokey the Bear baseball hat. That was my first baseball hat. I remember that. That's why some people say I might have a photographic memory somewhat, whatever they call that. I remember a lot of that shit. The other day, though, I didn't remember. I put my keys in my pocket and was running around the house looking for the keys that's in my pocket. I do have those things. That's why I wear a big piece of Motivite to help with that kind of thing. I think that could help y'all, but it's up to you. It's up to you. I don't sell this shit, but it's up to you. But he wanted advice buying it. Yeah, I'll give advice because you don't want to buy glass. You know, it's a lot of fake stuff out there. I'm still waiting my She Legit. So my She Legit ran out in May. I ordered it, and yeah, apparently I ordered it from India, and I'm not getting this shit until maybe next week. I ordered some that was supposed to come Monday. They sent me my money back. I'm like, damn. So, and it helps with the clarity. It really does. It helps with it just helps with the clarity on the visions, on meditating. And I've taken it for so long, it's in my system. But it's like, wow, you know, I planned on because I had this stuff for it. What I got, I think it's 100 grams. It lasts a long time, but India, really? You know, I imagine if I bought some silks from India and shit, and it took this long, I'd be like, give me my bread back. Ain't but like 24, 25 bucks, but it's ridiculous that it takes 2 months to ship me something that is gonna be in a box about this big. Little tiny box. You telling me it take 2 months from India to send me a little tiny box when it take me about 3 weeks to come from Russia or even the Ukraine. They still, you know, you can still get shit from the Ukraine. It's a war over there, but you can still order shit from the Ukraine. So apparently, it's some factories over there that ain't in the war. Did y'all know that? That you can still Amazon something or eBay something from the Ukraine. They still selling shit. So that goes into some of the wag the dog shit. Why is it? Why aren't they, you know, they making money? Why aren't they bombing them places? And it all goes into when Obama let them take was it Crimea? Obama should have reacted. But again, you know, he was nothing but a continuance of the Bushes. I mean, if you don't think Obama was snatching niggas off the streets of the world more than anybody in the history of America, Obama went after everybody. Obama didn't play. He had sharks out there in Europe going after their asses. And if they had anything to do with anything, he was locking them niggas up all around the world. And you see all them Arabs he put in Guantanamo Bay. He took a ton of them and put them over there. I think it's been what, the last few years they released them damn people. And remember how they was humiliating them and shit over there? It was just, y'all can have them kind of deal. Man, remember how the video of the chick lying up on, be lay naked on top of each other while the chick is laying back on them? They could humiliate them like that. Real and fake at the same time. So, Lorenzo, what is happening? So good to see you. What's going on down in the SIP? And being here this late night.
Got to have vision.
Oh, but shit, Lorenzo, I am coming down there next June or July. Yeah. We having a family reunion down there. Yeah, it's gonna be the Macon Moore reunion. I'm not sure who the Moores are, but you know that branch of how they're related to some of the Macons. But we're having a big reunion down in Mississippi next summer. So I will give you my stuff so you can get into contact with me. I'll be in state. I know it's hot down there. Heard of a story. A dude had a pond down in Mississippi and had them damn gators, and he could never get the gators out of the pond. And so he would try to throw dynamite in the pond to try to kill the gators, and he could never get rid of them. Can you imagine that? You know, you got gators around your crib and shit, and then you're throwing dynamite in the water trying to kill the bugs. Jamie Foxx, full recovery. Dude, Jamie Foxx looked like Usher. I always thought, you know, they say now, you know, Jimmy Butler looks like Michael Jordan, but I thought a young Jimmy Butler looked like Jamie Foxx. I really did. I thought a young Jimmy Butler looked like Jamie Foxx. I thought when he was young, he looked like Jamie Foxx. So, yeah, I mean, it's acting. It's characters. Like one of the most famous characters that died they kept alive was Howard Hughes. I mean, you think that Howard Hughes crashed in that jet in Hollywood and you really think he survived that? They show you in the movie. He's in a jet and it crashes in a house in Hollywood. And you think he really survived that? Howard Hughes was the first one to really give big money to the CIA. Yeah, people forget that he was a CIA operative. And more than likely, he got killed in that plane crash. So they kept using the character because they wanted that bread. They ain't want that bread to go to some of these weak relatives. They want that bread to stay in their hands. So you remember, at the end of the day, they say he was a germaphobe. You know, they create a character so they can still have that money without having to give it to the family, or they pay the family off so much. I mean, there's still Hewitt Packard. What else is it? Hughes something. It's still Howard Hughes still got his money is still out there. His business still out there. It's Hughes something. Remember the Tucker cars? Hughes gave him some helicopter engines, and Tucker was so brilliant he could put a helicopter engine in the car and make the car go. Remember that? I've seen a Tucker car. It's a Tucker car in Chicago. Used to be one. The museum in Chicago used to have one of them Tucker cars. You in Michigan, I might go. Greenfield Village is a great place to go in Michigan. The history of cars. They got a million cars. Matter of fact, Kalamazoo has their own car museum. You can go to Car Museum in Kalamazoo, the Gilmore Car Museum. But you go to Greenfield Village, you see the second car ever built. So, so it's they can like if they wanted to, they could have put another Prince out there. How do we know that? Remember, they said Prince died going to Atlanta. He had to get off from performing in Atlanta. He had to get off. So how do we know he didn't die first then? So we don't really know. We don't. Same with Michael Jackson. We don't really know. Oh my goodness, got the tires. I am good friends with Moores. That's here in the SIP. I am down here on the Gulf Coast. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, you on the Gulf Coast? Hell yeah. I would definitely, if I come to Mississippi next summer, I definitely would come down on the Gulf Coast. Hell yeah. Because we'll be more north. We'll be up around Naboxie County. That's where Macon, Tupelo, all that's together. But yeah, so we're coming down in that general area. But I would definitely hit the coast. That's one of the most beautiful parts on the planet. The coast of Mississippi. If y'all don't know, that's some of the most beautiful land in the world. Really, it's beautiful down there. It's really beautiful down there, and it doesn't get a lot of publicity. But it's really beautiful country. I mean, it's like what I like about being down south is you get to see real black, and I mean real black skies. Like you can get away in the country where there ain't no light, and you can, get the real sky. I mean, us that live around cities, we get so much, light pollution that we can't really see the real sky. And when you get in the deep country, you can really see the real sky. Like here north of me, we're thinking about this weekend going up to Duluth and seeing the Northern Lights. Because the Northern Lights can still, sometimes this far down you can see it. Sometimes, but it's always about the mighty dollar, Chrissy Jones. What are you watching me for, Chrissy Jones? You ain't got a movie to watch. You watching a pimp. I should show you that show, Pimp on the Run. Run, Joe, run, Joe, run, Joe. I'm getting sleepy, so I'm not gonna go too much further because I am getting sleepy. And I'm getting up and I got to do things. I'm debating if I want to play pickleball, but I think I'm gonna play for a little while. Try to play every day, and yeah, just get it together. Be active. Be a sports junkie. So yeah, we might do that to go see that. But that 3-hour drive going way up there, and it's just more Europeans up there, and it's just, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. We might. I'm kind of a homebody. I like it around here. I could go to the Mall of America every day and eat Long John Silver's. All that greasy food. Fried greasy food. But I am getting tired. And I didn't really have a whole lot. And so this is really an episode that was about the movie. Chrissy Jones, why don't you tell the people what your inference on on um on the movie, because you said a point about that the cross was always was going to control the mind. That was the point you made about the movie, that the cross would control the mind. And so I don't know. I want to remember why I said I still can't remember why I said sleep like a vampire. Oh, okay, sleep like a vampire because it was buried under the sea. So so it was kind of be sleep while it was buried away. But yeah, all these old movie references. It's funny the little things that I thought. Yeah, what did they say? Inhuman to the entity. Yeah. The humans were inhuman to the entity. So I don't know if you want to type all that in or not. Your take on it. But I think it's worth seeing if you like action movies. It's long. It's 3 hours long. Oppenheimer think comes out next weekend. I didn't even know Mission Impossible came out, but we was lucky and to see it on Tuesday. And I did have a beer. I drank a beer at the movie theater, but I only drank one. Let's see. That's the 6662 area code. They say that the Delta is northwest part of the state. That's more like the mountain region of the state. Oh, okay. But yeah, that's my people is from Macon, Mississippi, but it's Niexi County. It's like I can still find the birth records to my grandparents and stuff. It's like they were both born down in Niexi County. And what is it? Natchez, right? It's Natchez. Natchez, I think, is the county. It's Biloxi and Natchez. Because what was my friend's name? My friend was from Mississippi, and they named him after the town. It wasn't Sanchez, it was Natchez. Isn't it something like that? Natchez? What was his name? Yeah, Natchez, I think was his name. But he was a brother, but he had a Hispanic name. The my and the cross may need each other. Okay, so she says the my and the cross may need each other. There you go. And that goes back into, my thing of, again, you had Marduk, the Divulge, whatever name you want to give it, Yodaboeth, getting the my, having it stolen from them, but still having control of it. Or them, never was a fall. The fall was a fake story. Maybe Lucifer tried to get it and was unsuccessful. And so they have that type of magic and they rule with it. And you can see that Europeans have benefited the most from the tech god. The Europeans have benefited the most from it. Despite showing other things around the world that there's another sophistication there. Because we've got giant boulders, the man in Florida, and children saying he just had 2 wands. It's moving these giant boulders with these 2 wands. So there's other technologies out there, they've just been suppressed. And the Mai's technologies, the Mai's magic has been pushed to the forefront. And we are dominated by it. But you have to say that the European benefits the most from it. His armies. Because remember, the most technologies come out is military technology. Now, Wes Paneri talks about the internet being, the military, but beyond the military, now I know Jeffrey brought up about UFOs. There's certain entities that need to have the language sped up of communication. And that's something that, a tech god would want. It would want to be able to move these bits around the world faster and faster. So, Natchez. Yeah, Natchez. That was his nigga's name. The nigga's name was Natchez. Yeah, Natchez. That was his name. He was from Mississippi and they named the nigga Natchez. He's from Natchez, Mississippi, but that's all down there, Macon, Tupelo. That's all down there together. Yeah, Natchez. That was the nigga's name, Natchez. Each person finds their strength in the cross or the AI. Wherever you find your strength will be what you find holds the ultimate power. Neither is right nor wrong. It's an individual perspective. Okay. Okay. I can feel that. I can feel that. That's very well thought of. It is. It is. Uh, I would just say again, you have to bear the cross. You know, again, I don't believe in anything, and I don't think anybody should believe anything. You should know. You should experience. It's innate. Knowing is innate. Consciousness is innate. No, belief is learned. You learn to believe because innate. You trust your parents, so you don't believe in them. You trust them. You innately trust how they're teaching you, or that at some point, you know, when you're little, that they will take care of you. But belief is something that's brainwashed upon you by others. Because spirituality, you know, you should be really left alone. Because it's well, I'll say this with spirituality, it's like child abuse. It's child abuse to sit a child in Sunday school to tell him he'll go to hell if he doesn't believe in this book or this picture. If you don't color the picture right, you're gonna go to hell. That's child abuse. And I've heard this with my own ears. I've been in Sunday schools where they say this kind of thing. Or after Sunday school in the Pentecostal church, it would be Sunday school in, they would put the children would go upstairs. And they would have to sit. And then again, this fire and brimstone talk. And that's child abuse. You can't scare children like that at that age. Their minds are informed to comprehend it. Now again, you know, if you believers, you're gonna teach your children what you believe because you think that this belief has propelled you in this world. I mean, like we was talking about LeBron James. You know, LeBron James wearing the pearls, acting feminine whenever they ask you to. Again, he has to play a role. He has sold he has sold his energy signature. So everything is now. Everything is here because this is all they have. There's nothing more for them. What do they call it? Not necessarily a succubus, but something that will feed. You'll feed it. When you die, you feed something else because you wanted the energy. You wanted it here. That's why these mugs never want to die. That's why they want to keep characters alive too, because they make money off characters. And that's why they, you know, so they think about how they, you know, when Jonathan wrote that book, Infinite Consciousness wrote that book, when he talks about all the young people that get killed that are rappers and then their music does well. Well, that's been going on since Richie Valley. Buddy Holly, the Big Bopper, when they get killed, you know, all of a sudden they sell more records. So that's been going on for a long time. That's nothing new. Kill the young artist have a hit, make his song ride. So let me see where I'm at. That's so true. Anything used to control or manipulate is abuse. There you go. Natchez is where the Devil's Punch Bowl happened. Oh, I did not know that. And of those of you that don't know what the Devil's Punch Bowl is what they did is they took about 20,000 black troops and their families and kept them in this field until they basically killed them all. This is what the northern troops did to these black northern troops or black troops, and they starved them to death, systematically killed all of them, this black regiment and free people. Because, you know, and they don't talk about that Holocaust. See, there ain't no museum for that, is it? There's no Holocaust museum for that kind of thing. There's no museum for the riots of 1919, which was meant to kill melanated soldiers that fought over in World War One. There ain't no museum for the melanated soldiers that got killed coming back from World War II. And they don't want to tell that story, that they was still trying to kill you because, again, you going in the South, you used to killing. That's why you got the Deacons of Defense wasn't scared of them crackers down there. They was used to killing crackers. And they feared them. Because you can go to Europe and they say, you can kill these crackers. What do you think they was thinking? Then you go back to America, you don't think you a threat? And they were still trying to kill him up until, and my cousin shot him down in the streets of Dewaljack, Michigan, One of the first Green Berets, there was a brother, melanated person, Walter Ward, Sr., murdered in the streets of Dowagiac, Michigan, because he was kind of into the civil rights struggle. But this man was so, they feared him so much, they assassinated him. Name you don't know is, but they still did this in Vietnam, because you got this killer on the street, and he's about to be in part of the civil rights. You know how many Panthers was ex-Vietnam vets? And you don't think they feared that? They have always feared the vets coming home, and they systematically tried to kill, they killed all them people. So this is part of real history. Goddamn, never heard of that one. Oh, you never heard of that one? Yeah, just look it up. Yeah, look that one up. Yeah, it's like fruit grows there. Fruit grows there now, and people refuse to eat the fruit that grows there because the few articles that few times it's like they say that the food tastes like blood, the fruit tastes like blood. So, but yeah, you can look that one up. Yep. That would mean the perpetrators would have to admit they were driven by fear. We know this isn't going to happen. Yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, you never heard. Yeah, look that one up. Yeah, it's a pretty tragic story. Really sad. Yeah. I mean, almost like worse than Reconstruction. Almost worse. Well, it's like right after, it was right after the Civil War, right? I think it was even before Reconstruction. That might be a whole book by itself. Yeah, dark untold story in this state. Yeah, it might even be a whole book in itself. You look up the Punch Bowl, you might find that might be a whole book, but there's several, articles. Pictures, you can probably, might even be pictures of it. Let me see. Um, see if this will pull it up. Yeah, the Devil's Punch Bowl. The Devil's Punch Bowl, a story in Mississippi. It's remembered as this date in 1865. The post-American episode in Black history occurred in Natchez, Mississippi. As black slaves made their way to Freeman, the town of Natchez quickly went from a population of 10,000 to nearly 100,000. To deal with the population influx of freemen, a concentration camp was established. Do you hear this? To deal with the population influx of recent freedmen, a concentration camp was established by Union soldiers to eradicate the slaves, essentially. Das Estates director said, so they decided to build an encampment to them Devil's Punch Bowl, which they walled off and wouldn't let them out. The camp was called the Devil's Punch Bowl because of how the area was shaped. The camp was at the bottom of a hollow pit where trees on the bluffs above. The women and children were locked behind the concrete walls of the camp and left to starve, to die from starvation. Many died from smallpox. Only over 20,000 free slaves were killed inside the concentration camp in 1 year. Black men were recaptured by Union troops and forced back into hard labor. Researchers add the Union Army did not allow them to remove the bodies from the camp. They just gave them shovels and said, bury them where they drop. Today, the bluffs are known for the wild peach groves, but locals will not eat any of the fruit, become some aware of what has fertilized the trees. He learned that women and children are all but left to die in the 3 punch bowls. Disease broke out among them, smallpox being one of the main ones. Thousands and thousands died. They were begging to get out. Turn me loose and I'll go back to the plantation, anywhere but here. One researcher noted that the skeleton remains still wash up in the area being flooded by the Mississippi River. Natchez has a huge influx of self-emancipated enslaved persons, and unions were not equipped to handle, so they established refugee camps. They don't say, this one doesn't say anything about the troops too. It was 20,000 troops that they actually captured. Yeah. So Now let's see, this is an old article. Let's see what this old article says. The camp was located. See, concentration. Unfortunately, story like so many has been drowned beneath a ravine filled with pain and suffering, deep rooted. Just trying to see. Black Americans made their way to freedom. Town quickly went from a small, overpopulated. And they just killed all the people. But it was, 20,000 troops as well as just freed people. But this article says, 100,000 people was down in that area. So there's no, you see that there's like, trying to see, this is just pictures of it. Don't really see how to expand this. But yeah, one time these areas is where all these people were. Yeah, down in here. All these people were down in here and starved to death. Starved to death. And this was even before Reconstruction. This was a military operation. See? All in this area, just starving people to death. So, yeah. Terrible part of history that we really get no credit for. And it's not that we get credit, but there's no sorrow really for that. That ain't taught. That ain't taught. Juneteenth, no mention of this, huh? Seemed like this would come up during Juneteenth. Well, what about the Punch Bowl? Nothing about that, huh? That ain't no national celebration. Ain't no national day of mourning for that, is it? Ain't no, I don't even think it's a movie about it. I mean, there's documentaries where they do drawings and may show pictures where it's at. But I don't think there's ever been a movie about that. Oh, I wanted to mention this. Read the book before you see the movie of Killer of the Flower Moon. The movie is going to be outstanding. But I'm going to predict this, and I told my girl, I said, they're going to make Europeans still look good. They're still going to not make Europeans look like they the ones that's really dirty. Watch. They're going to make it look like the Indians. It was the Indians' fault they got killed. It was the Indians' fault that they outthought them and kept their mineral rights. And they gave them conservators. Do you know at this Mystic Lake? Remember I told you a story a few weeks ago about the young boy that went out to buy 2 demons? And he thought he could buy 2 demons with his fucking Cash App card. Didn't realize that a $900,000 check would take a couple days to clear. Most dealers would have gave him the car. Anyway, he talked shit to him. He saw me at the pickleball park and he said, I heard you talk shit about me and my cars. But anyway, out there where those people, some of those people make $300,000-$400,000 a month, they have conservators over their money. Yeah, and this is what they did to those people in Oklahoma. And they get paid to do this. You got to go through them to get your loot. It's like a handicapped person having a payee. The same kind of deal. You got everything you buy, you got to go through them. They still do this to this day. They put European over natives' money. So I'm going to predict they're not going to make the Europeans out as bad guys. Because what they're going to try to say is J. Edgar Hoover came in and solved it. But not them killing over 100 people over their greed. And the courts. See, that's why I wonder if they're going to show the courts okaying all this greed. These people were the richest people in the world. Do you understand that? The people, the story of those Indians in Oklahoma, they were the richest people in the world. And these Europeans went in there and found ways to murder these people and steal their property. They killed hundreds. And they're not, wow, you ain't gonna come out of that movie being mad at Europeans at all. They're gonna do something to make you feel good about Europeans. I'm just gonna tell you. They're not going to make the Europeans look evil. They may one or two, but overall, you're not going to get that feeling. You're going to get the feeling that, hey, the Europeans stopped it. Not the greed and the laws set up that started in the first place. Where do you see any other? You don't see them going in Italy and saying, hey, all these Italians got all these monies. We need to be over their bread. Where else was this done in America other than melanated people? Where was this done? You didn't see him going to Rockefeller when he was getting all that oil and saying, hey, we need to be over his money. He's buying too much shit. You ain't see none of that. It's just when melanated people had that power. The government helped. And sadly, the state level. The state level put so much restrictions. Like right now, they're fighting the weed, legal weed. They're saying they ain't gonna let hardly any weed grow or be sold until 25. And this is the cities, these counties, these cities are setting up individual laws. And it's like, okay, it can't be legal until 25. Well, technically, right now, you can have 2 pounds legally. You can start growing it right now. But these towns, again, individual city laws at the city levels, at the state levels, start setting up these laws. And that's the same thing if you look at the White League. So many people want to talk about the Ku Klux Klan, but how many people look at the White League? These are the ones that put in the laws. They copied from South America. It's just a replay of what the Spain did to the Mexicans or the Indians down there. That's all they did. They already had a blueprint. I mean, if you do a deep study, you see the South did the exact same thing that they did to the Spanish, did to the native people down there. They did the exact same thing almost 100 years before. So they already had a blueprint how to do it. And so the movie wasn't told in its right content. The Deacon of Defense was fearless. There you go. Well, that's yeah. Just do a little more research into it. Yeah. The Deacons of Defense, but they was Korean War vets. And you know, one of the people forget that the Korean War vets and some of the World War II vets got together and made Hell's Angels. People forget that. They kept that training going and, you know, end up making deals with the mafia and the CIA. And they was still allowed to move certain things. You know, they glorified it in the TV show The Mayans. You know, they're just glorifying that kind of outlaw lifestyle that, you know, these ex-vets was left alone. You know, they put them imbecile psychopaths out on the street and left them alone. For the most part, you know, they bust one here or there, but for the most part, them organizations was able to thrive for years. But yeah, do your study on the White League. They're the ones like when Bobby Kennedy and them was trying to change the laws in the South, that's who they was fighting, was the White League. And as far as I know, they're still operating as a legal branch. So they didn't get sued, you know, when the Klan was destroyed for hanging that boy, I think in Mississippi in 81. Where the mama got all the, you know, with the little local people, she got the land and the name, the KKK and all that. Because I think a black woman owns the rights to the name KKK. I think that was in their deal. She owns technically the right, I think, to the name KKK. I think she owns the rights to that. That was part of what they had to pay her because they didn't have the loot to pay her. But the White League, ain't nobody messing with the White League. And it's probably under some kind of different name by now. So these are just one of as many things that have affected us that they don't want to tell you or talk about. And this telling you know our history don't matter, but they want you to think that somebody else's history mattered more than your history. And they want you to think that they suffered more than you suffered. But that's all I'll say about that. Because I can go on that. But this is not the time or the place. Well, I guess I'm about to do it. I'm about to go to bed. So yeah, it's about time. I'm gonna still get up fairly early. Early in the morning. I wake up and I start to yawning. Yeah, that's kind of how it goes. So the point is that just like time, the spiritual stuff all is moving with us it's all moving as one. It's just like the same way as time. Time is on top of each other. It's a stream on top of a stream on top of a stream on top of a stream. It's all going at the same time. And that's why, you know, when you have visions of future events, it's ghost visions that are already streaming, already moving. It's happening. It's like I got the ability to see things in the clouds. You know, I was able to see a future event in the clouds. And so that event is going to happen. I've seen my daughter several times as an adult, and she did something as a child that she later does as an adult. And I kind of laughed when I saw her do it. Because she did something, because it was like she did it, and when she did it then, it's like later in life, this is what she's used to doing. And it's something simple that I'm not gonna say what it is, but I've said, he's like, wow. But I remember the first time she did it, I was like, oh. Because I caught a vision of her older doing the same kind of behavior with me. Just to tell a little bit, it's like she jumps in a chair next to me. I'll change it and say that. I'm sitting in a chair and she just kind of jumps in the chair with me. And so all this is always around us. And it's just what you can tap into. And you know, it takes work. It's like I might be able to bring this up. I don't know how this would search though. What is it called? Oh, I might have it. Might take me a minute to find it, but I might have it. Let's see. I have it, but where is it at? I don't know. But it came to me. That's it. So it must be here. See if I can find it quickly. I know I have it, but I don't know what it's called. I got a big book with a picture of it, but should be somewhere in here. If I can find it quickly. But the door came to me the other day. It's actually a type of Stargate, and it came to me. And so I know that is and that's, you know, that takes work for even if, you know, for it to even come to me like that. It takes work. Me putting in this, you know, studying this ohmic energies, and these energies finally coming, and it's like something else to put in my bag. It's not coming. I know it's in here, but could be under something else too. Oh, maybe if let's see. See if it's under this. It's not. No, it's not. It would be. Let's see if it's. Well, I know I have it, but it's a type of Stargate. It was actually put in front of a cave, and when you walked into the cave, you got transformed. And I saw an article where it was recently sent back to the people because, you know, again, they rip this stuff off and want to put it in there. You know, they talk so bad about the cultures, but they can't wait to steal something from the culture and put it in their museums. And they put it off as like there's culture. That's how it comes off. It's like, well, this is our culture. That's how they try to put it off. That's the lie when they put it in their museums. You know, children think that, well, we did this. We were able to go over and take it and bring it back here, so this has to be our stuff. That's the way Americans look at it. It's in your American museum, so it must be something from the Americas. The Europeans put together. They're smart enough to have power over it now. Yeah, I do not see this. And I know I have it, but where is a matter. Okay, it's not in this one. It's not in this one. Which surprised me, because this is where most of my omic stuff is. Let's see. Gee. Is this the same thing? Yeah, this is bringing up the same thing. Can't find it. but I still can't. Yeah, this is something different, but I don't think it's in here either. And I got it. No, this is the same thing. So this isn't. These about cars. This ain't nothing. Huh, I don't know where else it would be. Oh, okay, here we go. Might be there. No, this is sports. I doubt it's in this. No, it wouldn't be in this. Oh, bummer. I don't know where else I would have it. But I know I have a picture of it in behind me. Let's see how easy I can turn and grab this big book. Not very easy. So, but it came to me. It was a gift. And I guess that's my point, is that these spiritual gifts come. I've said before, I am definitely in touch. Wow. I am definitely in touch with, the guardians I have, and what else guardians you have. This picture is pre-dunk, before the dunk was, I've never paid attention to this, but this is before the dunk was banned. People forget the dunk was banned in, Kareem was a freshman, so 66, 67. So this picture is him about to dunk a ball before that. And you can dunk in high school. And I know, a lot of y'all don't remember when you can't dunk. But for a long time, for about 10, 20 years, you couldn't dunk in college or high school. Yeah. Wasn't until my 10th grade year in high school you could dunk. And as I've said many times, I am the first person to dunk a basketball in the Kalamazoo public school game legally and have it put in the paper that I dunked the motherfucker. Sorry, y'all. Couldn't find it. But oh well. Well, thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it. I'm a crash. Hey, Beat Boys, thank you for joining. And to be up this late, I know you definitely got to have.
Got to have vision.
I want to ask my guy. So what we need to tell him, Gunner?
My word, can't be my equal, don't know what you heard.
What is that, Gunner?
My word, can't be my equal, don't know what you heard.
What is that, Gunner?
My word, can't be my equal, don't know what you heard.
Can't be my equal, I don't know what you heard. So this is Big Pontiac signing off. For those of you want to holler at me, you can holler at me anytime at eaglesoutthebomb@gmail.com. Yeah. So thank you for joining. Till we meet again. Definitely say less. I appreciate it. What'd you say? Let me catch that. Yeah, those chicken heads fighting on. Oh. Well, let me see. Gosh, she came in there. Let's see. Yeah, that movie wasn't told. Okay. B-boys. Yeah, these chicken heads fighting. Fighting on the job. That's funny. Fighting on your job.